All right, ladies and gentlemen, so let's get started with number 5 from that first page. Here we go, number 5. And thank you. We have 1/2 x times 3 plus 6 equals 5 over 2x. Okay. I just love this motion blur. Okay, now this problem will be kind of hard if you don't remember your order of operations. PEMDAS. What does PEMDAS stand for? That's what it sounds like. Parentheses, exponent, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. So we start with the multiplication. And so what I would recommend, ladies and gentlemen, is I would recommend putting parentheses around the multiplication. This is another one of those words. I went to Google Translate and looked it up in Spanish, and it said parenthesis. It's like when you look up internet, it said internet. So what I really need to do is multiply the 3 times the 1. And that's hard to see here because of the way it's written. But what is 3 times 1? So what is 3 times 1/2 x? 3 over 2x. I like it. And then we just bring down the plus 6. Más 6 equals 5 over 2x. Now we're always trying to gather like terms together. So here's a like term and here's a like term. You stay right there. So let me ask you a question. What do you think makes more sense? That we move the 3 over 2x over here to be with this guy, or whether we pull this one over to the left? Put this over here, because if we bring this over here, we have to subtract 5 over 2. We'll end up with a negative number. But if we just subtract 3 over 2 from both sides, 3 over 2x from both sides. See, I just said it wrong. Subtract 3 over 2x from both sides. The additive inverse principle tells us that additive inverses sum to 0, which means I can cross them out. All that's left over here on the left side is a 6. And now I check, do I have common denominators? Yes, I do. So I can subtract the numerators. 5 minus 3 is 2 over 2x. What does 2 over 2 reduce to? 2 over 2 is 1. So it's really 6 equals 1x. Now what do I do now? You could divide by 1, but then you'd have 6 over 1. We're done. That's the beauty of it. We're done. Ladies and gentlemen, what did you think about that problem? No, I appreciate you. So, thank you. Thank you, Dee Dee. I would have, depending on the context, I would have to agree. Okay, how about number 6? Everybody's favorite thing, finding common denominators. Everybody loves fractions. That's y'all's favorite thing in the world. Welcome back. Make sure to walk behind the camera. Okay. 3 over 8x plus 2 over 3x equals 25 over 24. Okay, now we just need to think about these two denominators, 8 and 3, and we need to figure out what their least common multiple is. So I'm just going to start listing multiples. I got 8, 16, 24. With 3, I've got 3, 6, 9, 12, 15, 18, 21, 24. So the least common multiple is going to be 24. Well, what do I need to multiply by 3 to get 24? 8. 6 times 3 would be 18. So what I'm going to go over here and do is I'm going to multiply 2/3 by 8/8. You see, I'm only allowed to multiply a fraction by a number that reduces to 1. Well, 8 over 8 is 1, so that's allowed. I haven't changed the problem. Okay, now what do I need to multiply by 8 to get 24? 3. So I'm going to multiply this fraction by 3/3, because if I only multiplied the bottom by 3, I'd be multiplying by 1/3, and that's not allowed. See, 3 over 3 is another way of saying 1. Okay, so let me erase this, and then let's write the next line of code here. What's 3 times 3? So I have 9/24 x plus 8 times 2, 16/24 x equal to 25 over 24. Now, should I show you the trick that would make this easy or not? Yeah, so Spencer, y'all know Spencer? He noticed this. This only, please be careful with this. I hate showing tricks because I'm afraid that people will forget when it's possible to use the trick. So notice that we have 3 terms here. All of them are divided by 24. You see that? So watch this. We can just write this like this. In other words, we can just get rid of the 24s. Because what we're doing, I'm going to multiply both sides of the equation by 24 over 1. And look what happens. So remember, this is the distributive property. So what happens is I cancel the 24 here, and I cancel the 24 here. Over here, I cancel the 24s. And this is the simplified result. Now, this is much easier to deal with. What is 9x plus 16x? 25x equals 25. Now what do I do? Divide both sides by, what do we call this number? Do you remember the vocabulary term? This has a name. It's called the x. Oh, somebody said it. Coefficient. The x coefficient. So I'll start to say is divide both sides by the x coefficient, which is another way of saying divide both sides by 25. Ooh, be careful there. So now we cancel out the 25s. And remember, just like 3 over 3 and 8 over 8 equal 1, 25 over 25 equals 1. So cancel, cancel. X equals 1. How about that? That was my cash me outside impression. Y'all remember that girl? Cash me outside, how about that? The cringe took over there. I was possessed by the cringe. Hey, have you guys heard of the Slender Man? I'm the opposite of the Slender Man. I'm like the Kool-Aid Man. Okay. All right. I think you guys are getting this. You got this. I don't know if we got it yet, but we're getting it. I need to get a sign that says, you are in the process of getting this. How about number 7? Number 7. Okay, so I write 11. Open parentheses, 6. There's an echo in the room. Sounded like people were talking, but I know that's not possible. Okay, open parentheses, and then it's 6 over 11x plus 9. Close parentheses equals, how do you say 100 in Spanish? Cien. Cien, okay? Now what? D word time. Distributive property. So we're going to take the 11 and we're going to multiply it by each term inside the parenthesis. So 11 times 6 is, that's like a jack times a 6. That's 66 over 11 x plus 99 equals, in the words of my man CJ, 100. Okay, now what should I do? Subtract 99 a dos lados. Now, 99 and negative 99 are additive inverses, so they cancel each other out and go to 0, leaving behind 66 over 11 x equals 1. Now what? Reduce the fraction. Which is just, so yeah, you divide the top and the bottom by 11. And so now we have 6x equals 1. Ahora que hacemos? Now we solve it. How do we solve it? Divide both sides by the x coefficient. What's the x coefficient? 6x. That was as flexible as I will ever be. You divide both sides. You were subtracting. Okay, now these cancel out, and x equals 1/6. Muy bien. Okay? We solved it. Now we only have one more to do before we switch gears. So who's ready to do number 8? I see, I was like, ocho, 8. Ochate, ocho, 8. Oh, yeah? Here's number ocho. Y'all would not want me teaching you Spanish.
I would. I'll take what I can do.
My teacher only taught me the bad words. Or that's all I remember learning. Okay, let's write this. Let's write 64 over 12 x menos, see that one? Menos 13 over 3 minus 13 over 3 x equals s uno. Uh-huh. 64 línea 12 x menos 13 línea 3x es 1. All right. So we have to find a common denominator between 12 and 3. The least common multiple, count up with the 3's. 3, 6, 9, 12. Okay, so you multiply both. You multiply the top and the bottom by 4. 4 over 4. Remember, you have to multiply by 4 over 4. You don't have to touch this fraction, so we'll just rewrite 64 over 12x. Uh-oh, a little bit of math. We don't know our 13s because that's not lucky. 3 times 4 is 12, so 52. So 64 over 12x minus 52 over 12x equals 1. Well, look at this. We have common denominators, so we just have to do 64 minus 52. Oh, it is?
Yeah, it is. Don't second guess yourself.
It is good.
Yeah, it is 12.
Oh, I didn't even need to borrow. Okay. So 12 over 12x equals 1. How about we write it to where it looks like a 1? Okay, well, what is 12 over 12 reduced to? So 1x equals 1. So what does that mean? X equals 1. That was not too hard. Okay, guys, so we're gonna switch gears here. Tomorrow, go ahead and flip the page over. Tomorrow you're going to take this quiz. Let me just tell you in advance, it's all the same like we've been doing, okay? It's the same level of difficulty. All the problems should work out very nicely. And there shouldn't be big numbers when you're all done. Okay, then flip to this page, this one with all the shapes on it. Anivia, make sure you write, and the area is 18. Okay? If you never had a packet before, make sure on that page with all the shapes on number 3, you write, and the area is 18. Okay, so this will conclude the recorded part of today's lesson. Thank you so much for watching.